This is digitalizing your control system. And we have Norel on the line. He's one of our application engineers, senior application engineer. And he's going to do this demo, this presentation for you. We also have Jennifer Payne, and her responsibility is our data portal and all the supplier information that's contained within that. I'll let Jennifer do a quick explanation of what the data portal entails, so you understand that before we get started with Norel on the demo. Thanks for coming.
Thank
Jennifer?
you, Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So as Roger just said, I am the business sales manager for Master Data. And so I am responsible for the data portal and working with manufacturers to join our digital catalog, where then we work with them to input their data, and we really work hard to achieve great data sets and depth of quality within the information we receive from them. And then that is uploaded onto the data portal, where then as a user, you're able to go in there and click and download the information into your projects. So I also work with we have a global team out of Germany, and currently we have over 300 suppliers on the data portal. We have recently launched our new EDS, what we call their EPLAN data standards, again, to encourage our manufacturers to provide the best quality data on our portal. So we appreciate you joining our demonstration today, and I will hand it over to Norel so he can show you what our system entails. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Norel Safi. I'm an application engineer with EPLAN. I have been with EPLAN for 3 years, a little bit over 3 years now. My responsibility is to do consulting, trainings, and pre-sales activities with our sales. I am very glad today to show you a little bit about EPLAN P8, more specific, and EPLAN as a platform in general. So thank you for attending, and let's get started. All right, so this is EPLAN. This is the EPLAN platform as a whole. If you take a look at the top right here, EPLAN, you're probably familiar with some of EPLAN menus, since EPLAN is written on a common Windows tool. So for example, some of these menus, for example, cut, copy, paste, and the shortcut that comes with it, it's a standard as a window standard. Also, EPLAN has its own shortcut and toolbars. So if you take a look, there's plenty of toolbars that's available when you install EPLAN, and also you can customize your own toolbars to make your design process more easy and more efficient. All right. You could put your toolbars here on the top to make it easy, or on the sides. This is all based on your preference. Now, EPLAN is a database-driven system. You don't have to do any database management. However, this is just an information for you to tell you that the entire project set up as a database at its core, and all the documents inside your project are connected together as one database. Think of it as an PowerPoint slides. So when I go ahead here and open one of my documents, so for example, the title page or the cover sheet, I'm not opening an outside file. I'm just opening this page inside my project, and I can easily navigate between my pages. Yeah, that saves me time and less errors and mistakes. So for example, here I have my title page. Another benefits of having the project as a one database is one source of entry. So I can put the information in one spot, and that information will distribute it on the entire project. So if we take a look at this example, for example, I'm going to change the company name here. call this EPLAN. You can see that the changes took effect here on the top right away, and also at the bottom you can see here the company name changed. At any page that I open right now, these changes will be, or this update will take effect on that page. Now, as a user or as an engineer, you can start your design from any data that you have. So in EPLAN, there's 3 ways of designing by the symbol, designing by the device, and designing by predefined circuit. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead right here and just create a new page. So, as you can see, EPLAN automatically recognizes what's the next available page in there. I still have the possibility to go ahead and change that page number. So anywhere I can click here, it can tell me what is the next available one in that section. So I can go ahead, for example, and select here and say new. You can see that page 64 is the next available one in that section, or what's below it. I'm going to go ahead and give it a description. So I'm going to call this motors. Press OK. And here you can see it's a brand new page. The information that we entered at the beginning is still there. Yeah, and it will continue to be there the more we build on into this project. Just like I mentioned, engineer could start from any data that they have or any information that they have. If they decide to design by the symbol, since they don't know the part or the number or the device that they're gonna assign at the moment, they could do that. If I go insert symbol in the top, you can see all these symbol libraries that EPLAN provide you with. These symbol libraries, you don't have to customize, you don't have to maintain. These comes with EPLAN, and it get updated every version installed. So with every new version, there's could be some new symbols. EPLAN will keep maintaining this to make it as easy as possible on the engineers to start their design. You can see it serves several standards. So here I can see the NFPA symbols in inches. I can see NFPA symbols in millimeters. I can see the IEC standard, which is the European standard symbol, graphic symbol libraries, and special symbol library. So let's say I want to design a motor circuit. Yeah? I'm going to go ahead and go to my power consumer. And as you can see, it's very well organized. I will not get lost in menus or search bars. All I need to do is think about the symbol that I need to place, and I can easily target it. You can see here's the motor circuit, more motor sections, and you can see it's even filtered based on the connection points that's in that motor. So if I go more into this tree, I can see, for example, this motor, yeah, and I can see the description of this motor. So let's say I decided to select this motor, yeah, while this motor is attached to my cursor, yeah, I can click the tab key and rotate between all the 8 variants that this motor has. Once I'm satisfied with this motor position, I could just go ahead and click. Automatically, EPLAN will recognize where this motor is placed and give it a unique device tag. This is based on your company settings. So if your settings is different than the NFPA standard, EPLAN will adopt these settings and insert it into your symbol data. So here, the settings that I have for this project is based on the row number and the identification of this symbol, which is MTR to represent as a motor. Once I press OK, these information will be displayed on my schematics. As you can see, here's my motor, and here's the row number that this motor is placed on. Just let me select my settings here. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so now I have my motor placed on my schematics. I can double click on this motor later on, probably find out which part I'm gonna assign to this motor. I can easily go to my part tab here and use the device section selection tab, which is filter the entire database that I have and give me only motor parts. So if I go ahead into my device selection, you can see that EPLAN gives me 3 part motors. And these, not the only parts that's in my part database, these are the only motor parts that's in my part database. And usually engineers are very good in memorizing the part number because they use most of the time the same part again and again. So I'm gonna go ahead and select this motor, for example. Yeah. Once I select this motor and I press apply, all the parts data that's associated with this part will get attached to this symbol. So all the voltage, the voltage, the manufacturer data that's associated with this part will get applied into this symbol. Gonna press OK here, and you can see here's the data or the information that's in my motor. The more I put into this symbol, the more information will start displaying. I can make it a little bit more clear if I want. So if I go right here, yeah, and I don't need to duplicate these information, so easily I can just select one of these information instead of keeping one duplicated twice and so on. Now, this is the first method of designing with EPLAN, the most simple method of designing with EPLAN, which is designing by the symbol. Let's say I know exactly what's the part that I'm going to insert on my schematic. Yeah. In this case, I can easily open my part database. Yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and use my filter. I create a small filter here just for this demo. Yeah. And let's say I know the exact part that I'm going to use for this design. I can easily drag and drop the part on my schematics. And you can see automatically EPLAN pick the correct symbol for this. Yeah, I don't have to go into my symbol library and search for that symbol. I could just go ahead and drag and drop the part and the symbol will come with it. Yeah, as soon as I hover across from that motor, you can see that the connection is generating or get activated automatically. Yeah, once I am satisfied with the position across from that motor, I can just go ahead and place it, and you can see even if I move it around, these lines will get updated or these connection will get updated automatically. Yeah, so the most important thing is to keep them on a same level. That's if you want to maintain a straight line. If you want to change the direction, let's say this is a little bit below, you can use these T nodes or these angles to reroute the connection to make it connect to this motor overload. So here, just back to my point, here we designed by the device because I knew the part number that I'm going to place in this. And as you can see right here, all the parts data comes automatically. Yeah. So if you can see the part number stored right here, and you can see a picture of that device, all the information that comes from the manufacturer itself. Yeah, so I'm 100% sure that these information are correct. And when I generate my bill of material, I know that this device will be in my bill of material and with the correct information. Now, before I move to the third step or the third way of designing with EPLAN, I want you to take a look for a second right here. Yeah. When I hover over the connection, you can see that EPLAN gives me the source and the target for each connection. Yeah. And if I take you a step back, we assign a part number here and here. So what I'm doing at this moment, yeah, this is the question. Yes, I'm designing. However, EPLAN in the background doing tons of things for me. One of these things is building my connection report with a source and a target. Even the pen that it's attached to. So if I go to this one, it's connected to pin number 2. On the other side, it's connected to pin U1. So EPLAN, I'm doing one thing, and EPLAN in the background is doing tons of things. Also, EPLAN is building my bill of material. We assign part to these symbols, so it's doing my bill of materials in the background. So this is the benefit of having all your project as one database. Now let's continue building on this circuit. So I'm going to use the third way of designing with EPLAN. The third way of designing with EPLAN will be is designing by macros or predefined circuits. So here I'm going to go ahead and place a phase power rail. Yeah, and I can, in the same macro, I can store several variations. So if I click the tab key, you can see I'm rotating between the two variants that this macro has. So I'm going to go ahead and select this variant. And once I click XY, EPLAN knows exactly where to enter this macro. Once I press OK to complete my action, you can see here automatically EPLAN generate these green text. So what is these green text? These green text is telling me that this power is coming from somewhere. So when I hold the control key and click on it, yeah, you can see that it took me to this page that tells me that the power rail that I just inserted, it's continuation of this connection. Yeah, same as here. When I click, I will go back to the page that we are creating together at the moment. Yeah, so I am showing you these things just to see the benefits of having the entire project database connected together. Now, once I'm satisfied with the power rail, I can easily connect it. Height. Okay, I can easily connect it to the power rail just by dragging some T nodes. You can see easily placed, easily designed. No. Not so much effort to manage a connection here. Yeah, I'm going to continue building on this circuit by inserting more of this. Oops, sorry, wrong button. Right here. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do a power drop. And just like before, I'm going to use my X and Y. Yeah, and I'm going to ask EPLAN to number my devices based on the position that it's placed in. So you can see now that this device is numbered based on the position. So this is placed on 6410, and you can see the 6410 is got adopted here. I can go back and put a motor with a fan, just like so. And the devices are numbered automatically. And I'm going to put a transformer right below it. You can see all these devices get numbered automatically except for these contacts. The reason these contacts not numbered yet, because they are not the main device. So it's waiting on the coil, the host of that, these contacts, so it can get associated with it and adopt the device tag of the main device. A quick example of that will be if I open another page here, for example. You can see here's my PLC page. I'm going to go ahead and place this coil just with the same method that we did before. Okay, and I can just easily drag some connection from here, place them right here. You can see that this coil now placed on my schematics. I can go ahead easily find my device navigator, which is, it's telling me where this device is located. You can see that the coil right here has several contacts that belongs to it. Yeah. Now these are available for me because I just placed my coil and they are available to be used. All I have to do is just drag and drop these just like so. I want to do them in a straight line. Just like so. And you can see that these, just make a screen bigger. Yeah, you can see that these get a cross-reference too. So it's telling me where are the main devices located and what they are part of which part. Yeah, and on the other side, of course, if I click right here, you can see the cross-reference for each contact on its own. So here I could go ahead and click on it. It's located 6405. Okay. All right. Continue building on this screen. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and place more of the predefined circuits. Yeah. However, in this circuit, I want to show the power technology of macros. Here I have a circuit of a motor that carries several variants of the same motor circuit. Yeah. So with the same circuit, I have up to 26 different variants, and each variant has different categories or values for the entire circuit. So here I'm going to place this circuit, and EPLAN automatically asking me what is the horsepower of this motor. So for example, I'm going to put a 10 horsepower for this one. Yes, number my devices. I can place the second one right here and say 25 horsepower, just to show you the difference between them. I'm going to place the third one here and put a 75 horsepower. And here, based on the horsepower of this motor, my entire circuit is getting updates. So if you take a look right here, this is a 10 horsepower motor. Yeah, the gauge of the wire is different. Yeah, and also the fuse right here is different as well. So here at 25 horsepower, it's 50 amp fuse. Yeah, with 8 gauge wire or cable. Excuse me. And here as well, so 10 horsepower with a 20 amp fuse. Let's say I made a mistake and this is not a 10 horsepower motor. I can easily right click and say assign a value set and just change that and say this is a 15 horsepower, and the entire circuit will get updated. This is the power of macro technology. You can customize your circuits however you want and eliminate tons of work and eliminate mistakes. All right, I will continue on this. You can see one schematics page took me less than 5 minutes to draw it all. You can see all the connections between my my schematics here, yeah, and not just the schematics, even the device itself right here, I can see the connections between them. Yeah, so I'm 100% that I'm not missing or adding parts that don't need to be in my project or forget to delete. All these stuff is eliminated. Okay, now let's say I placed my circuits. My circuit is perfect. I need to number my wires. Yeah, I can go ahead easily and select a circuit or a page or entire project and go project data, connection, numbering, place. Just placing more of these connection definition points. I can select my circuit again and say connection enter designation. And you can see now that EPLAN numbering all your connection based on your standard. Yeah, based on your settings, based on your schemes, however you like to number them, EPLAN will do it for you. You can see here, this is the value what it was before, and now it will adopt the new number that's coming from your settings. You can, if you want, you can change that right now, or just leave it the way it is and press OK. You can see that each wire has, each wire has its own number. I've seen a question in the chat. Okay, is there a pre-built macro database to pull macros into a project? So we can, EPLAN, when you install EPLAN, we can provide you with some of the macros. So something like this to look at it and see how is it designed, what is the data behind it, and how it was configured. Yeah, every company is different, and EPLAN is a very wide platform. Yeah. We won't be able to make circuits for every individual companies. Yeah. So the macro is something that you design specifically for your company. So you are going to design a circuit anyway. Yeah. When you design your project or schematics, you will design your circuit anyway. It will be very easy once you complete your design. You have 100% sure, you are 100% sure that this circuit is perfect and you think you're going to use it again. All you have to do is just select the circuit. Yeah, just like so. Right click and create window macro, symbol macro. Once you do that, yeah, you can see here, you can specify the variant of this macro. You could tell it to be stored in your database. So I'm going to go ahead and call it this maybe XYZ, for example, and I'm going to put it in my, yeah, this is fine. I'm going to put it right here. Once I press OK, that's it. My macro is saved. You can see XYZ now is available for me. And here's all, here's the circuit, everything that I selected, even the connections. It will select it. You can see that this one is stored. I'm going to put it on the side right here so you can just see it. Yeah. And of course, all the configuration is stored with it. Yeah. So it's very easy. What it's gonna take time to build this macro database, yeah, but you design in your circuit anyway. Why not make a use of it for next time? So this is a very easy software to work with. It's not very complicated, yeah, and it will work very hand by hand with you to be more efficient. Okay, perfect.
Hey, Narelle, there is one other question. It says, please cover terminals. I have a hard time tracking the designation I have already used and often end up using the same terminal multiple times.
Okay, sure, no problem. I will do that. This question is, these things is very easy to solve in EPLAN. Yeah. So here, if you take a look, I have terminals. So the best thing or the magic about EPLAN, everything or most of the things that we have in EPLAN has its own terminal. So you can easily target it and see how it's acting into your project. Yeah, you can easily look at the terminal strip navigator. Yeah, and select any terminals you have on your schematics and say synchronize selection. Now watch the magic. Automatically EPLAN open that terminal strip for you in the navigator. You can see how is this terminal is acting in your project. If the designation, for example, if I double click on this terminal, which is what we opened, yeah, if the designation is not what you want, yeah, you can easily select that terminal and say number terminals, yeah, and set up your own designation to achieve the goal that you're looking for. Also, if you take a look at maybe if I have, we'll give it a shot. I will open this one just to see. You can see if I open my edit in table window, I can see all my terminals. I can jump my terminals, yeah, without even showing it on the schematics. I can show it on my schematics, or if I don't want to show it on my schematics, I can do that as well. I can jump my terminals. Now these two terminals are jumped together, yeah. I can keep track of my terminals, where they are connected. Of course, this table is also modified, so you can add more information into this table or delete information from that table. It's up to you. Yeah, but here the information that's available for us at this moment, and you can see all the terminals right here with no issues. Yeah, you can also your designation right here as well, number it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just show you a quick one. I'm gonna start with value number 1 and increment as simple as that. Yeah, you can see right now it's 1, 2, 3. The PE is remained unchanged. That's because when I number it, I say PE do not modify, leave it the way it is. Yeah, if I say number it, it will go under that. Yeah, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way to 12. Yeah, and you can also say I want to number them page based, like sorting, cable based, all these good stuff. That's all depends on your settings. I'm going to cancel. I don't want to save my action. Yeah, and this is how easy you can manage your terminals in EPLAN. And of course, these things is the terminal subject is very, very wild. It will not be covered during this demo session, but EPLAN offers many trainings. So we have the basic trainings, and we have a class specifically for terminal where we go over multi-level terminals, terminals with settle jumpers, all these good stuff. EPLAN will back you up with trainings and consulting to be more efficient. And once you are satisfied with the circuit or the way the terminal looks, just like I mentioned, it's as simple as selecting the circuit, right click, create a window macro, just like we did a minute ago. Okay, all right, let's continue. Now, I'm done with my design. Let's say I am completed with my design, and it's time for me to harvest all this good work that I put into my project. If you remember at the beginning when I said EPLAN is doing tons of things in the background. Yes, you design in a circuit, but EPLAN in the background is building your connection list, your bill of material, all this good stuff. Now, there's two ways you can see reports in EPLAN. One, when you generate it within the project. The other one, when you export these reports as a PDF, or export it as an Excel file. So the first one we're going to go over is generating reports within EPLAN. So I can go utilities report generate, and here's the list of reports that EPLAN can generate. Yeah, you can see tons of reports available for you. So for example, PLC addresses overview, PLC cards overview. This is a very important report that customers ask for this because it will help them a lot for the when they troubleshoot or build in their cabinets. Terminals connection diagram, terminal strip overview, or maybe connection list or cable overview, summarize part list, which is the bill of material. Yeah, all these good stuff, it's available for you. Now, for this specific project, I only picked these specific reports. So I don't want to overcrowd my project. I wanted to make it as simple as possible so you can see the result easier. So I'm going to select my project and click the gear and watch the magic. Yeah. Just take a couple of seconds to run through the entire project, and that's it. Once I close this window, you probably notice that EPLAN added some more sections here. We're going to go one by one with these sections. Yeah, so if I double click on any of these bill of materials, for example, you can see the part number, the order number, the quantity of that part, the description. Even if there is a picture associated with this device, EPLAN will show it to you. Manufacturers, and if there's a link attached to that, if there's a link attached to that part, you can see now when I clicked on the link, it took me to the part itself. Yeah, this is all these information. It's up to you if you want to show it. So these reports are fully customized. You don't have to stick with this. But when you install EPLAN, yeah, EPLAN gives you tons of forms. Like you can look at it and see if you like it or no, or probably add some modification to it. Yeah. So in this specific form, it shows the part number and the order number, the quantity description, and so. Yeah, this is in the bill of material. So this is the entire bill of material list for the project. Yeah. Now, here's the cable reports. We have a cable overview. Yeah, which just shows me every cable and the length of each cable, and cable diagrams. Here we specifically targeted each cable, how many conductors in each cable. So let me pick a good one. They're all good, but I want to make sure that we get one that's have more informations. Yeah, that's of course depends on the part that you assign to the cable. Yeah, here you can see the source and the target for each cable. You can see here if the end attachment to that cable, the color of that cable. Yeah, and here you can see the cable device tag showing of that cable. Yeah, if I click on this cable, of course, it takes me to where's this cable is placed on my schematics, so I can see all my connections. Yeah. Okay. Now let's get to to the terminal reports. So we have two type of reports here. Terminal strip overview. You can see all the terminal strip that's in your project, and a terminal diagram where each terminal specifically on its own. You can see also I'm going to show it has more details. So for example, like this one, yeah, you can see if there is a text surrounding that or function text surrounding that the terminal. You can see the target designation. If these terminals are jumped together, or if there's two terminals that's jumped together, you can see the jumper on your report. You can also look where this terminal is placed on your schematics as well. Yeah, just like we did with the cable. Now, one of my favorite reports is the wire list. So the wire list here, it's individually showing you each wire or each connection that's in your schematics with the source. If I zoom in just so you can get a better view of this, yeah, the source and the target for each connection, the length of this connection, the color of this, the number, and the end termination of this connection. So imagine instead of going through a 10,000 page project to build a cabinet, you have this connection list where it's telling you exactly where this wire is going to do, exactly what's the gauge of this wire, and the length of this wire. And you can just one by one go in from the source to the target and build in your panel easily. One last thing I want to show you, or before we end the session, when we were looking at the cables, or when we were looking at the schematics that we built together, we saw the connections between the devices. And for example, if you remember this coil right here, we saw the connection between this coil and its children, or the contact that belongs into this coil, right? So this applies on the entire project of EPLAN. So if you take a look at the top right here, we probably didn't go through all of this, but I will go through it with you. You can see all my schematics, my fluid diagrams, my PNID, all is in one project, yeah? And all these PNID symbols are, or loops, connected somehow. If there's a sensor or a valve, it's connected somehow to the fluid diagrams or to the electrical drawings. So for example, if I take a look at cable topology, which is representing the entire system here, I can see a proximity switch or a motor right here, and that motor takes me to where is it located into my schematics. So I can design my entire system into EPLAN, and that representation will be showing me the schematics and the overview of that symbol or that part. Here I can see the system overview page, yeah, and I can click and see, for example, this is a proximity switch that's located here. Yeah, I can click on that proximity switch and easily see how is it wired in my electrical drawing. Yeah, so the entire project data will be stored as one database in one project. So you don't have to keep opening file again and again. All of that is stored in one project. Another thing is your 3D representation also is included into your project. So if I go ahead here and open my 3D Navigator, you can see my hydraulic flow system, and I can see my main control panel. I can open my main control panel just like so. Yeah, take a look at my control panel, move it around and see what's inside it. And of course, I can show my mounting panel. I look at these devices that's in my mounting panel. So if I have a device here, I can highlight that device and click the F key on my keyboard, and it will take me to my schematics and tell me where's this device is wired in my schematics. Yeah, I can look at my control panel as a whole and see if all my components is fitting in one cabinet or no, or if I need more adjustment, or maybe I need a smaller control panel or a bigger control panel. Yeah, this is all done with ProPanel. With the next session, my colleagues, he will go over ProPanel and what's benefits of ProPanel. Yeah, and he will show you the connection between ProPanel and P8 and what type of data we can export out of ProPanel. Also, before I end this session, out of these 3D representation, I can extract my 2D. Yeah, here I can see the 2D representation of my control panel, and this is generated automatically. You don't have to put any efforts in it. You can see here the drilling pattern, and here I can see my control panel with the enclosure legend. You can see the bubbles for each device and the description. I really don't want to show you how I can generate these automatically because I want you to go ahead and join my colleague's session for later, and he will show you tons of things that EPLAN Pro Panel could do for you. You can go and help about, and you can, I'm sorry, whoops, help content, yeah. And here you can see that EPLAN open the help file for you, and you can type in anything in the search field, and EPLAN will filter that for you. You can see the news of EPLAN, an overview of EPLAN, and here it's very well divided in sections. Here, the common functionality that EPLAN, here's ProPanel functionality, specifically for ProPanel, Fluid, pre-planning, and EPLAN View. Not least, I will go over on how to export reports out of EPLAN. Now, we saw the generation of EPLAN reports inside the project. Now, how can, if I'm interested to see a bill of material as an Excel file, how can I do that? Is it easy with EPLAN? Which type of information I can see or view in the Excel file? I can easily do that by selecting the project or a page or a section. Yeah, go into utilities, manufacturing data, export labeling, and here I can see that this is a settings that it's stored for me. I can say I need a bill of material or a connection list if there is any, or a cable diagram. It's up to you, whatever you want to export. Yeah, but this time is one at a time. We can't generate the entire report sections in once. So now I'm just gonna do the bill of material as once, and I'm gonna say export and start application. And you can see here, I can see the name of the project on the top, and you can see the properties here: part number, order number, total amount, number of units, manufacturer name, and designation, which is a short description. Yeah, here's all my part number, order number. So sometimes the part number or the number that you send to the manufacturer is different than the part number that you use in EPLAN. And here's the total amount, the manufacturer name, and the designation. And all these information is stored in your database, and it only filtered the one that's used in your project. Yeah. Now the question is, how is these part came into your part database or came into your project at the first place, right? So this is a, do you create them yourself, or how is that happening? Yeah, I will let my colleague Jennifer answer this question, and I will go ahead and demonstrate it. Go ahead, Jennifer.
So then this is where you would want to go ahead and launch the EPLAN data portal, and which is embedded already into our software. So as Narelle says, then you can once you're registered as a user, then you can then you can search with, for either, there's different ways that you can search parts, or you can, if you know the manufacturer that you're looking for specifically, then you can go down to find the manufacturer name, and then you can go ahead and click on a manufacturer. So which one did, okay, we're going to choose Allen Bradley. And then you would scroll down to the product family that you're looking for, and in this case, you're talking about the circuit breaker, right? And then you go ahead and click on it. And then it gives you all the information that is available for this particular component. So if you go down to the features, you're going to see that this particular manufacturer is offering what we like to say different data depths. So we have commercial data, we have 2D information, and then we have a connection point or a function template, from what I can see on there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yep. And then you're able to click this and then add it into your parts database if you would like to use it. So again, this is directly embedded into the our software. So this is really another unique feature that sets us apart from other people out, other types of software out there, is that, again, we work directly, that's the master data team works directly with our manufacturers to gather this information and compile it already as complete data sets, so then that you're able to then click and download it directly already into your project here. And you can import it directly as Narelle is showing. So again, this is a great benefit, again, to show that it saves time, not having to go and search. Really, that's the idea of the data portal, so that you can find and not have to search for product information and component information.
Mm-hmm. And all you have to do is import this once into your internal library or internal database, and then you can use it as many times as you want. So you don't have to go into the data portal and import this part every time you want to use it. You can, but this is the more efficient way is to import it once, and it will live into your internal part library as long as you want it, unless you go ahead and delete it. Yeah. And this is the benefit of having the data portal. The data portal, just like my colleague Jennifer said, all the parts on the data portal, the manufacturer, the mother manufacturer of these parts are the one who maintain these parts. They are the one who check these parts, put these data into these parts, design the macro of these parts, the 3D graphic of this part. So you are 100% sure that most of these information are correct because they are coming from the manufacturer. You can also rate the parts. So if you see something that's abnormal of this part, you can rate this part, and you can send your rating to the manufacturer, and I'm going to rate it as excellent or remove my rating, and I can send reports to that manufacturer and say, hey, can you check this? This information is not available, or maybe it needs to be modified or something. Or if you see a manufacturer or a part that should be on the data portal and it's not on the data portal, my colleague Jennifer is the account manager for the data portal. She's responsible for that. You can send her an email and she will communicate with that manufacturer to see if they can add these parts to the data portal. Well, the last thing from my side, I want to say thank you so much for joining this session. Feel free to take a tour in the firm and get more information as much as you want. And we are here to help you. So you could contact any representative of EPLAN and they will be pleased to help you. Thank you again for attending this the demo, and I see you next time.